everybody, how are you guys doing? I am Angela. This is my YouTube channel. I'm doing this video because I did a TikTok in which I told like my story of how I moved to France when I was 17, and some people wanted to hear the story. I really think it's so cool if I can help someone with my story, if I can bring you value. You can always send me a message. I will answer. If I can help you, I will help you, with information, with like guidance, because if I can do that, then like what is life for? Anyways, let's get into it. How I moved to Paris. So technically when I was 17 I moved to France. So before, I'm from Colombia. I was born there, my whole family is there, and I just finished school a little bit early because when I was younger I skipped some classes, and so I finished high school when I was 15. So I didn't want to go to college because in that time the main reason why I wanted to go to college, it's because I wanted to party. I think that's like, you want to go to college because obviously you want to go to college, but you also want to party a lot. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to go, and I obviously was 15, so I was like, I'm not going to waste 2 years going to college not being able to party and drink. So I was like, I'm too young, what can I do? So I started studying English. I studied English for a year and I became bilingual, and then right in front of my English school in the downtown of Bogota, there is a French school. I don't know why, I just walked in one day and I was 16 at the time, and I was like, I'm still too young to go to college, so why not study French? And so I just went there and got some information, and yeah, I started really wanting to study abroad when I was younger, but it was very, very hard to imagine it because it was kind of expensive. But college in Colombia is also very expensive. Like, it depends if you go to like a public college, but if you go to a public college then you have to be very smart, and I just think I'm smart normally. I don't think I'm that smart. So anyways, it would have been expensive as well. And I started really getting obsessed with the idea of going to the US to college, but it was incredibly expensive. So I started finding out information about studying in France, and as it turns out, it was a lot cheaper to study in college in France than it was to study in college in Colombia. But with the living costs and the plane tickets and all that, it came to like, I don't know, kind of the same. But education in Colombia is really not that renowned. Like, if you study in Colombia, you don't get as easily a job in, say, the United States or Spain or whatever. But if you study in France, I feel like the education is going to be recognized anywhere you go. That was one of the main reasons why I wanted to study abroad, because I know of people in Colombia that are like engineers or like very big titles that they have, and then they go to the US and they end up like driving a taxi or being a bartender. Not that any of that is like a bad job, because any job is a good job, and nobody's better than anyone. But if you go to college and then that's all that you can find because you went to college in Colombia. So I didn't want that. And I also have 2 older sisters that I had the example of them, that they went to college, and they ended up having like a pretty good life for obviously the Colombian standard, which is you just go to college, you find a good job, and then you just you get your house, you get your car, you get your family, and then that's your life. And I kind of wanted more, so that's why I was like, I'm going to go study abroad. And I was 17, and my mom told me, you keep saying you're going to study abroad, you keep saying it, but you're not doing anything. So either you go and you find some information and you tell me what I have to do, and then I can help you do it, or you're gonna have to sign up to a college in Colombia. So that was like my wake-up call. And I just started contacting universities. I remember the first thing I did was I made a list of 10 colleges that I wanted to go to, but then I found out that you need to obviously speak French, because I don't know why, I just didn't think of that. And I was like, okay, this is like my way in, is to go and study French, and once I'm there and once I speak French, I can, you know, continue on to study in college, and then, you know, whatever follows. I contacted universities in Paris, Strasbourg, Perpignan, which is where I ended up going, which is in the south of France, and it was for the French summer program. And so being an international student, the first thing that you have to like pay for is your studies, so the course, and then the housing. So I didn't want to go to Paris. At the time, I said that I didn't want to go to Paris because, you know, I just wanted to be focused and like study and all that. But now I really believe that I didn't want to go to Paris because I was just very scared of such a big city. At the same time, I was so oblivious to the situation that I was 17 and I was leaving my country and everything I knew alone. I have like the best mom in the world because she supported me, like all of my dreams and all of the crazy ideas that I had. And so that's really nice because obviously, you know, it costs money. So it was very nice to have her support. And yeah, so I ended up contacting this university in Perpignan, which Perpignan is a very, very small town. It's very beautiful, but it's very small. And I was like, okay, this is good, this is nice. It was, you know, included the housing, which was right next to campus, which was very nice because it took away like, you know, transportation and maybe getting lost or, you know, all of that. So I got to Perpignan, you know, I just left my family, everybody in Colombia, and I just took my bags and I just went to Europe. And I got there and I got a freaking just wake-up call because I don't know, I was kind of a loner when I was a teenager, so I was like, you know, whatever, it's just gonna be the same. I'm gonna be alone and I'm used to that, and you know, I don't care, I don't have friends anyway. I was very like that, but it's different when you're at home to like when you're literally alone in a whole continent and you don't speak the language. Because to go and study French, you have to have like A1 level of French, which is like, you know how to say hello, like where's the pharmacy, my name is Angela, I'm from Colombia, like things like that. But I could not have like a conversation in French at all. So, you know, it was very interesting. There I was alone, and so I cried myself to sleep for probably 3 weeks, and I was just like, why did I do this? Like, why did I think that I had to be different? Why do I always have to want more? Why can't I just be like content with a freaking normal life? And I was very, very sad, but you know, at the same time, I didn't have any choice because my mom had already paid for the whole course. So at the very least, I had to stay 6 months. So the other part of the equation is that I wanted to get there and my mom paid for like housing 3 months. But then in, I want to say South America, but I don't really know if it's, I don't know, just in my family probably. You believe that if you go to the United States or to Europe, you're just going to find money. Like, it's not that ignorant that you're going to find money like on the trees or whatever, but you know, you can easily get a job, you can easily find ways to make money. But that was just not the case for me because Perpignan is very small, so it was not like the biggest city where, you know, you have jobs everywhere. Anyways, the plan was my mom paid for my whole course, but she only paid for 3 months of the housing. And you know, obviously 3 months later I would have had an amazing job that paid a lot of money to pay my housing, but that was not the case. So it was very hard actually. I was like, what is wrong with me? like literally 15 days later, I was like, why can I find a job? Like, ugh, so naive. I spent the 3 months and I did not find a job, and I am so just stupid. I'm not even gonna say proud, but just stupid, because I was 17 years old and I was too proud to say to my mom that I didn't have any money, because I also knew that she had paid a lot of money to put me there. So I didn't want to be like, you know, by the way, I didn't find a job, give me more money. I just went and lived, you know, I met a friend, her name was Lucienne, and she was very nice. And you know, she had a kid and I kind of babysat her kid like a little bit, and we were together. She was going through like a divorce, so you know, she wanted like someone to have coffee with. I don't know, we just got along really well, and she was like, well, you know, you can come live with me. So I was like, okay. Oh, I also forgot to mention, before going to France, I was like, I have the perfect plan. I'm going to study beauty before going there so that I can work at a salon half time, and I'm gonna make so much money. So between like when I was studying French to get to the A1 level, I was also studying in the afternoon to, you know how to cut hair and how to brush hair. So I cut her kid's hair, I did her hair also. So you know, it was like, that was my way of repaying her. But you know, she had kind of a difficult situation because of her husband. They were getting separated, so she was getting like a new apartment. It was just not the ideal situation. I would literally be in the situation when I didn't even have the money to print the curriculums. So I was like, okay, I really want to find a job. I don't even have the money to print the freaking sheets and go and ask for a job. And I don't know why. My mom is like the best person in the world, but I just don't know why. I just could not ask her for money. I just was not able to do that. And I just broke, and I was like, I'm going back to Colombia. And she was like, no, you're not. You're going to stay there and you're going to study, and I'm going to send you the money, and you're just going to be a student. Fun fact, I actually did not even learn French that much in class. I learned French a lot just asking for a job, really. Just like talking to people and talking to my friend, and like, you know, just everyday life, because I did not go to class a lot because I was looking for a job. I spoke like the level of French that is B2, that is the minimum that you have to go to college. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to college. I always knew that I wanted to study something to do with business. It is actually the bachelor's degree is called economics and management. I just knew that if you study business, you can work in whatever you want. Like if you want to work in whatever industry, there's always going to be money involved. There's always going to be numbers involved. So I was like, this is a very easy way to have, you know, an entryway to any type of industry that I like. Oh yeah, I got a housing with the college. Like, okay, it's the same university where I studied French, but I did not know, and I really did. You should do your research like 100%, because when I was communicating with this college from Colombia, they were like, okay, this is the only rooms that we have, and it costs 800 euros a month for like a 10 square feet room that only had the shower and the toilet. I had no kitchen. It was just so small. So I didn't even want to like find out how much a studio apartment would cost me. But they were like, okay, now you're a student at college, you can get a studio apartment. And I was like, it's probably going to be like 1,000 euros. So I was like, I mean, okay, how much is it? And she was like, it's 300 euros. And I was like, what? How is that possible? They will rent a room, a very small room, to a foreign international student for 800 euros, and then a 30 square feet apartment, like studio, very nice, with like a kitchen and like a bathroom and everything, and even a balcony for 300 euros to the people that, you know, are just locals, or to the people that are actually going to college. So I was like, why do they do that? Like, just because you're an international student doesn't mean that you have like all the money in the world. Anyways, I got my housing with my college and I was very, very happy, and my mom was very happy because I was not like suffering anymore. And then I just got a call from Pizza Hut, which that was in my TikTok video. That was my job for almost 4 years. I really believe that I had left that application to work in Pizza Hut like months before. So, you know, I was just so happy because it was like 5 minutes from my school. So I would just go to school from 8, and then the last one was like at 8:30 in the afternoon. No, 6:30 in the afternoon, and then I would start my shift at like 6:45 in the afternoon. So I'll just literally run from class to Pizza Hut to work, and I would work until around 10 or midnight. It depends if I was closing or not, and then I'll go home. And then, you know, that was my life. But yeah, it was fun. I just was so thankful to have a job that allowed me to, you know, not ask my mom for money anymore, because in Colombia, euros are actually 3 times the amount. You know, for her to pay just my rent and my, you know, for me to eat and like have like a bus pass and like things like that, it was not that expensive, but for her it was 3 times more. And I was very happy. I was very happy in my job. I also met my boyfriend there, which I could do a story time in that alone because it was very, very funny. But that's where I met him, because he was also a student, and that was also his student job, and he also, you know, studied at the same university as me. But yeah, so that was Perpignan for me. I was very happy, but I was also like, this city is so small, get me out of here. I want to go to Paris. I was just obsessed with fashion. I started a blog, and I was like, you know, I want to go to Paris and I want to work in fashion, and I want to, you know, just live the freaking life. And I applied to probably every university in Paris. I got accepted to, I believe, 3, and I chose ASAS, and I did a master's degree in industrial economics. And then, you know, we moved to Paris, and I was so freaking happy, and we just were like, okay, now we have to look for, you know, where are we gonna live, because Paris is obviously very, very expensive. And every freaking person that I talked to was like, oh my god, don't go to Paris. Paris is awful. Paris is so expensive. You're not gonna be able to pay for it. You are just like, just so many negative stuff that I just wished I had told nobody, because no one was like encouraging. We actually got to my boyfriend's friend house. He used to live here, and so he allowed us to stay with him for like a week, just the time for us to look for an apartment. We just went to this like fair for students, where you would go and, you know, there would be like housing companies, and I ended up calling this one lady, and she had an apartment, which was just a room, which in Paris, when you're a student, that's honestly all you can afford. And yeah, so we went there, and it was actually at the 8th arrondissement, which is very, very expensive and very, very nice. And we went there when there was like this huge event, and so there was literally a red carpet on street, and there was like Maseratis and Ferraris and like paparazzi and like the most beautiful girls I've ever seen. And I was like, I'm home. I'm gonna live here. And I ended up living there. You know, the lady, you know, she showed us the room. And actually, like, this is my thing. Like, what is for you is for you. You don't have, just let the universe worry about it, and you just stay positive. If I had listened to all the people that were like, oh my god, Paris is so expensive, don't go there, don't go there. I literally ended up living in the most expensive neighborhood in Paris with the most beautiful view. Granted, it was very small, but I was very, very happy. And had I listened to those people, I probably would have stayed in Perpignan, and I don't know, my life would be very different. So anyways, we got there, and she showed us this incredibly small room where it was just like a hallway almost, which was, you know, this is the door, and then this is the shower. You go another step, and that's the kitchen, which is just like a sink, a very small fridge, and like a little hot plate to do, you know, your food. And then you go another step, and then there's the bed. I was like, this is not going to work. And so as we were visiting the little room, this guy came from upstairs, and he was like, okay, so here's my key, thank you so much, goodbye. And I was like, oh my god, he's leaving. So I was like, could you show us maybe the room that he just left? And she was like, oh no, but you know, it's being remodeled, so we're not showing it because it's being. And I was like, oh, that's okay, I mean, we could see it. And that was the best thing of my life, because that was the apartment that I chose. The room. It was actually very nice, and it has the most beautiful view ever of Paris. I probably put a clip of it, like every morning was such a dream. And it was not a hall, but it was a very nice like square where you had like a little section for everything. So even though it was very, very small, you did have a little section. So there was like the door, and there's like the bed, so that was like the room, and then it had like a little side table, and then there was like this little table in front of the window, which that's like the desk, and then another pantry, which was like the kitchen, and the kitchen was like a lot bigger because it was like that. And then it had the shower, so literally I could shower and cook my breakfast at the same time. But it was very nice because, you know, it's very efficient. They were very efficient mornings. Anyways, I really liked it. I loved living there. So anyways, we lived there, and then I started studying, and I started just looking for jobs. So I found this job. I was just at the entrance of the club, and people would pay, you know, their money to me so that they could go in. And that was a very nice job. It paid well. It was incredibly hard because I had spent all day studying, and then I would start at 11, and then I would finish at like 5 in the morning. Also, I sometimes got tips from mostly guys that were drunk, so I'm not complaining. And then I got, you know, that was the Master 1. Your bachelor's degree is 3 years, then you do a Master 1, and then you do a Master 2. So, and then when you do the 2, you have your master's degree. So the second year, I went to Sorbonne, which is Paris 1, and I did a master's degree. Then I found my internship at Accenture, and it was not the nicest. It was really, I hated it with all my heart. It was a very well-paid internship, but I just was not built to work on consulting because it's just not for me. And I was like, okay, this is actually so good because it's teaching me that I really do want to work in fashion. But you know, having such a business background as a, you know, study, it was going to be kind of difficult to switch over to fashion because I did not study, you know, directly fashion. I did mostly business, and you know, my internships were very business and development and things like that. But obviously I don't want the easiest thing, I always want the hardest thing. So I was just like, no, I'm gonna work in fashion. I just applied to all the fashion companies, big, small, big brands, small brands, startups, everything that I could, you know, even remotely get an opportunity to get a job. And one of those companies was a very nice company that I started working at, and I loved that company so much. I just loved my job. I was a marketing coordinator, and I just got to do so many things. I had not a lot of liberty, but enough liberty to like have my own ideas, to, you know, get the brand awareness up, and like, you know, do social media and do, you know, gifts with purchase. So I would like pitch some ideas for events, pitch some ideas for like gifts. It was very nice. I got to, you know, get into social media a lot more, which I was already doing since like Perpignan. I was already doing my blog, so it was nothing new, but you know, I really liked that job. But you know, for reasons that were out of my control, they decided to stop their activities in Europe. So you know, we were all laid off, and now I just work for myself. And now I live here. You know, of course, with that job I got the amazing opportunity to just move and have a normal sized apartment, which is, thank God, where I'm living now. And I'm just so incredibly happy. I'm just thankful that I get to live where I live. I love this neighborhood so much. I just have the best time here. I don't know, I believe nobody in this city appreciates living here as much as I do, because I don't know, I went through some really hard times. I'm not gonna get you know, teary-eyed, but I really did go to some bad times. And if you're thinking about going, oh fuck, my legs hurt, sorry, I'm just going to accommodate. If you really want to go and study abroad, I would just say do it. I do not regret doing it one bit. You're going to learn so freaking much, and you're going to grow whether you want to or not. You're just going to have to find out how strong you really are. And you know, there were times that I didn't even have money to buy toilet paper, so I would steal it from the library. But there were also times where, you know, I was having the most beautiful dinner at the most expensive hotel in Paris. So you just have to take it life as it is. You know, you just have to take the chances. And the one thing that I really believe is that when I'm going to be taking my last breath, I would 100,000% rather say, you know, I did it. I tried it at least. Even if I didn't say, even if I didn't like it, I just tried it, rather than regretting not ever doing it. And so yeah, this is my life now. And now I have a YouTube channel, which it's cool, I guess. I'm not your usual YouTuber or whatever. Am I a YouTuber now because I did one video? I don't know. But I'm very honest. I'm not here to pretend that some sort of miracle or inspiration. You know, I just lived my life. I just had a very clear reason and a very clear why of why I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I just kept pushing, and that's it. And that's all you have to do. So, you know, I try to really tell my story. There are a lot of things that I could say, but you know, I don't believe you have any more time. I've been speaking for like hours. So if you have any questions, I will leave my Instagram here. And yeah, that's it. Contact me and I will answer. I do answer to all messages except those that have interesting photos on it and texts. Except if you do want to send me money, I will accept it. I'm just kidding. I just do get a lot of things that messages from, you know, some men asking me to be their sugar baby. Is that, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind some money, so I'm just kidding. Don't contact me for that. Anyways, that's it for this video. I really hope you guys liked it. I really hope it brought you some value. Make sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, all of that. And see you later. See you next time, hopefully soon. That's it. Bye. That's it. See you later. Alligator. See you later. Anyways, I really hope you guys liked the video. Que no estoy hablando.